KSL Today starts now.
In Springville, one man shot, another on the run. The latest on the suspect police are calling armed and dangerous.
And returning home, Utah task force. I'll send it over to you. All right, Tasia, we'll talk more with you in just a bit. But first, let's get to our top story this morning. Developing in Springville, police searching for a man accused of shooting another man.
Yeah, not something you want to wake up to. This happened at 1327 West, 50 North last night. News specialist Kara Bracken joins us in Springville. Kara, what do we know at this point? What do people who live there need to know?
Good morning, Dan. Lori. Well, we do know that police tell us that the man shot was hit 3 times. He was rushed to the hospital, taken into surgery, and is expected to recover from those injuries. Now, we want to tell more about this breaking news here that the suspect is still on the run, and officers do say he should be considered armed and dangerous. While the investigation is in these early stages, police don't know if this was a targeted incident or a random act of violence. When police got this call a little after 5 o'clock on Sunday, officers from nearby also responded. That includes Springville, Mapleton, Provo, and the Utah County Sheriff's Office. They all immediately started searching the area for the male suspect who ran northbound from the scene, hopped on a motorcycle, and then sped out of the area. The suspect is described as a man approximately 5'6", wearing dark blue jeans, black hoodie, a black beanie cap, and red high-top tennis shoes. Now, officers, investigators, they are still, again, processing the scene. They're going through evidence. They also want to hear from any witnesses that may have been in the area, so they're asking people that may have seen anything to contact them right here at Springville Police Department. We're now live outside of headquarters. I'm Kara Bracken. Back to you.
All right, Kara, thank you for that update. Meanwhile, developing out of Tooele County this morning, an 11-year-old.
KSL Live at 5 starts right now.
Coming up next on Live at 5.
How much taxpayer money it could cost to implement a new law aimed at making schools safer.
If you live in Salt Lake County, your ballot tomorrow gonna come with 2 pages. That's never happened before. I'll tell you why it's so long straight ahead.
A major thoroughfare in the Riverton-Harriman area shut down. Already a huge impact for businesses.
Another community meeting planned for tonight because of the growth of the Yellow Lake fire. I'm Cher Park live in Chopper 5 to give you an exclusive bird's eye view.
KSL Live at 5 starts now.
Good evening. How much money will it cost to make your kids' school safer? That's what Utah lawmakers are trying to figure out here as they implement a new law aimed at more secure schools. This specialist Daniel Woodruff live at the Capitol where this issue took center stage today. Daniel, what do you find out?
Yeah, Mike, Utah's School Security Task Force met here today at the Capitol, just wrapping up a little bit ago, and everybody there agreed getting our state schools up to the security standards they want is going to be expensive. Earlier this year, the legislature passed a law requiring a lot of things for school safety, including that teachers have access to panic buttons, that school buildings meet certain requirements like having security film on the windows, fences around playgrounds, locks inside on the doors. Well, the legislature already set aside $100 million to pay for all this. The Utah State Board of Education plans to ask for another $100 million at least. But today, the chair of the School Security Task Force suggested that it could cost as much as $800 million when all is said and done.
These are expensive undertakings, but when you look at the cost of not doing it, right, the human toll, it has to be done.
The school safety panel also noted that some school districts have been pushing back against making these changes required by the law. They didn't say which districts exactly, but the chair of the panel got pretty serious, saying that the legislature expects everyone, every school, to follow the law. Now, after the meeting, the Utah State Security Chief clarified a little bit that he feels most districts out there really do want to follow it, and he didn't feel there were very many out there at all that didn't want to. But he did say that this process of beefing up security at schools, making them safer for kids, is a multi-year process. And, Mike, it certainly will be expensive. Back to you.
All right. Daniel Woodruff live for us up on the Hill. Daniel, thank you very much. Ballots hitting mailboxes as soon as...
You're watching KSL News at 6.
Welcome back. It could cost the state of Utah nearly $1 billion to implement a new law here aimed at school safety. That revelation today on Capitol Hill also came as some question whether every school is taking the new law seriously. His specialist Daniel Woodruff now with the story.
We fully expect compliance with the law. I mean, you shouldn't have to say that.
Representative Ryan Wilcox laying it out there for any schools that may not be fully on board with a new safety law.
It's a little disappointing to get that feedback.
Wilcox is chair of Utah's School Security Task Force and sponsor of House Bill 84, which passed earlier this year. It requires a lot. Things like panic buttons for teachers, armed guards in schools, security film on windows, and fencing around playgrounds.
This is basic safety and security.
The legislature set aside $100 million to pay for it, but it's going to cost a lot more than that when all is said and done.
I think the number's going to be closer to $800 million.
That was a staggering sum of money.
But state school board member Joseph Carey says it's necessary.
When you look at the cost of not doing it, right, the human toll, it has to be done.
Still, there's the concern of getting every school in the state to cooperate. Today, the task force pointed out the state could shut down any school that doesn't follow this new law, but one member didn't like that.
I'm a little disappointed, actually.
State Senator Darren Owens.
I don't like hearing all the rules and shutting down school talk.
He says educators are already overburdened.
Let's work with them and not against them.
We don't want to close any schools.
Utah State Security Chief Matt Pennington says most schools are willing to comply.
The hope is we figure out the funding, we figure out what it looks like moving forward. We hope collaborate with them and come up with innovative solutions for their area.
Leaders say this process will take several years, part of an ongoing effort to make Utah schools safer.
We are way better off than we were when we started.
Daniel Woodruff, KSL 5 News.
Daniel, thank you. School safety is one of many issues.